No country, no government is responsible for their volcanoes. However, you must feel enormously relieved tonight that there seems to be some easing of the ash cloud.
Yes, this is very good news indeed for people all over Europe and in different parts of the world. And it's also hopefully good news for us here in Iceland, where there has been a tremendous ashfall in the southern part of Iceland, destroying the farming land and creating a great disaster for the farming community. So I hope the volcano will gradually calm down and we will see a new and better period.
But only yesterday you were warning about other volcanoes nearby that are bigger and nastier and could belch even more ash into the atmosphere. Has that worry now gone away?
No, it has not gone away, but it might be 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. We don't really know when it's going to happen, like we didn't know when this was going to happen. But both science and history tells us that sometime in the future, maybe some years or a few decades into the future, that is very likely to happen. And that is why I have urged airline companies, those who produce aeroplanes and governments and air authorities all over Europe and the rest of the world to re-examine the existing technology, so when this will happen, the aeroplanes will be better equipped to deal with it.
Do you think the flight ban, as it was imposed in the last 5 days, was overdone?
Nobody can answer that question, because what we have learned in this country is that when volcanic eruptions happen, the combined effort of people, even everybody on the globe, will not be able to stop the eruption. And I am very pleased, and we are very pleased here in Iceland, that nobody got hurt, not here, not in any other country. Nobody was injured, nobody died, there were absolutely no casualties. And that was because both here in this country and in other countries, we gave safety the top priority. And when you are faced with a volcanic eruption, you have to give safety of the people the top priority.
I guess the direction of the wind allowed your country to dodge the bullet of this volcano, but if the direction of the wind were to change dramatically, the consequences for Iceland would also be quite dramatic, wouldn't they?
No, absolutely, and they were and still are very dramatic in the southern part of Iceland. I was there a few days ago, and for many farmers, for a number of days, they couldn't see anything during the entire day because of the thickness of the ice. The animals, the sheep, the cows, the horses are in great difficulties, and even today a number of farmers were saying that this will be the end of their farming. And if the winds change, we could have other parts of Iceland suffering from the fall of the ice, even if every other country gets spared. So right. For us, this is not the end.
Your country's had a few nasty surprises in recent years. First there was the financial turmoil, now this volcano. What lessons do you take away from that, briefly?
Well, I think the primary lesson is the unpredictability both of the financial markets and as well as of the volcanoes. But there's also the lesson that we have to prepare ourselves and we have to be on our guard and we have to read the signs of risks and danger, whether it's the signs of risk in the financial markets, which we didn't read correctly and effectively enough in this country, as people didn't do in some other countries. But we also have to monitor Mother Nature and the volcanoes more effectively. And we have now the scientific means and the technological capability to do so. So I think for us, both in the financial collapse and also during this volcanic experience, we have been humbled by the fact that there is a limit to our knowledge and we have to improve our effort and be more on our guard. And that is why I was advising other countries to re-examine their system as well.
Thank you very much, President Grimson. Good to talk to you.